afternoon, you guys. It's Sunday, Mother's Day 2022. So, to all you ladies out there, happy Mother's Day. I know there's quite a few women in the gaming world. And so, hey, today's your day. Hopefully, you enjoy it and have some fun. So, happy Mother's Day, you guys. And let's see here. We are going to start off today's show with an update on some of our auction finds. People have asked us to post a little bit about, and so we have. And this latest auction find, well, from our trip last month, still, I think I told you guys about, was our Team Yankee haul. So I've been working on the Russians, set as Pacheco's bearers, and a bunch of T-72s. So I did get those completed. That was my project for the week. I got 10 T-72s built, which may not seem like much, but when you do one or two a day because life is busy, then yeah, it works out pretty good. So far, it's been another good week. I can't complain. Weather's a little but hey, it's Mother's Day. As long as you can get out and spend time with your mom, and if you are a mom, you can spend time with your family, then yeah, don't worry about the rest of it. It'll all fall into place. So far, so good. Just to let you know, because it is Mother's Day, the show is going to be a little bit shorter than normal. I'm not going to run it past an hour just because, well, going to my daughter's, and my mom's going to be there. So, yeah, a little Mother's Day cookout. We're going to do that. Plus, it gives me a chance to play with the other favorite miniature of mine, and the little one. So, yeah, she's a cute little baby. But, and if you haven't seen my TikTok, you should. One where it says, "What's my favorite miniature?" Because you'll like it, especially if you're a parent. It's kind of cool. But yeah, it's been a good week. I got some new equipment in, and I'm going to be putting that into play. I've got to try to. I would like you guys to let me know if the mic, if you can hear it good enough. Recording lately seems like there might be a little bit of a problem, but my mic here that I use is based off of well, it's a newer mic is the brand. It's been around for a while, and I've had it a couple years. I've used it extensively, and so just let me know if it's giving any issues or not, because sometimes it seems to be when I'm recording that's a little lower. It does have what's called a phantom power supply. So if you're not familiar with that, it's like a very little trickle bit of power. These condenser mics need. Some mics just plug in, USB port. This actually goes through a power pack, the one I have. And yeah. So let's see. What else do I got to say? May 17th, which is a Tuesday, we'll be on the Modeling for Advantage show. So say hi there. We'll be there with Kaiser. I will be, and Johnny B, and that should be pretty good. Not quite sure what we're going to talk about. They'll let me know beforehand, but yeah, that'll be a fun show to do. And so, what was I going to say? Yeah, so that's it, man. Some things are going on this week, and it's all good. I do have a new component for my computer coming. Not the funny thing with computers, but I need a new video card. So I've got a new video card coming. Should be towards the end of, I hope to have it by the end of this coming week, and then it will be installed before next Sunday show, because right now I'm just on one monitor, whereas before I had two, but part of the video card quit working. And unfortunately, the only way to fix that is, you replace the card. And trying to find computer components and parts, it's just getting to be a pain with the way the system is. So not much we can do about it. Just work around it and take it from there. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So if you happen to notice any technical things, please let us know. We would appreciate it. And if you are joining us on Facebook, just bear in mind, for right now, it doesn't give you your name on this particular platform. I believe that's being worked on, but it wouldn't show your name. So just let me know who you are. And let's see here. chat. Hopefully all you guys are having a good Mother's Day there. And yeah, there we go. Okay. So now it's all looking like it's propagating pretty good. So there we go. So like I said, we'll keep it short. I will do the best I can to keep you entertained for a little bit. I will show you my tanks here if you want. So hold on a second. And if you're not familiar, you guys all know last week I was showing you, I got quite a few of the oh my gosh, my Space Marines. Yeah, you can tell. Sorry, I had babysitted my granddaughter last night, and it was pretty much an all-night thing. So there's the camera. Okay, so here we go. Hold on a second there. Oh, let's see if I can adjust the lens a little. All right, so getting all these little guys together was fun. This kit was the one from the auction, so a couple were put together. Interestingly, though, see, magnetize all the tanks. Always have, just because it's nice. And look at that, they're strong. They won't come off. Nope. So all these are done. If you can't see, here's another one too. It's going to give us, our 2 groups of 5 for Team Yankee. No problem. And each one's going to have its tank commander. And so we're good to go on that. I do have some Russian green coming, you guys. I ordered some predominantly for Team Yankee. It's going to come like this. I'll show you. These bottles are pretty good, actually. This is for my West German and US. See where it says NATO green? But look at the size of this bottle. It's pretty big, and it's more than enough. So I got one like this coming for the Russians, because when I do these T-72s, then I got 2 Heinz that come with it, and then it's going to have a contingent later of some T-80s we'll pick up and add to it. But for right now, this gives me an opposing force to game against too. So because West Germans really can't fight the Americans or the Brits, because hey, that's just part of the alliances there. So gotta have somebody to fight against. So this will work. And I'll show off this one other thing. I think you guys know I finally got this little cowboy painted up. He's all done. Kind of a steampunk looking cowboy with a sniper rifle that I was working on, but now he's completed, and I think it came out pretty good. I'm going to show you the other one I'm working on right now. This is a Reaper Bones. So this is Reaper Bones. He's a miniature too. Frank Buck is the name. So I kind of showed it off a little bit, but if you look, he's got the pistol, he's got a whip, he's got a sword, he's got a shotgun on the back. And I don't know if I can adjust this anymore. Hold on. There you go. So I can do a little better close up. And he's got some gray hair. But I got him done pretty good. He's pretty much dried up, ready to go. I'm going to do the base, obviously, but I will say one thing about this. Reaper, the box says primed and ready to paint. And I'll tell you what, the paint didn't want to stick very well. It's when you painted it, wanted to slide, even though you cleaned it up. So I'd make sure you wash them really well and see if that helps. Maybe I didn't wash it good enough, but I always wash my miniature. So, it just depends on how well the paint's going to adhere to it. So I got him going, and he's done. So now I've got 2 cowboy figures for this game that I'm going to do with mini warm out there. I do Oh, I'll probably have to get one of these other ones done here. I might do Sally Sure Shot next from Wiley Game Design. So um, she also looks like she's got a scope on her rifle. But her, probably I'm going to have to go with Creek Johnson. He should be a good shot too. So these Wild West miniatures, some of them by Wiley Games and some of them by Gunfighter. It says Gunfighter's Ball, or Wild West Miniatures. Knucklebuster Miniatures is who makes them. And so there's some cool little miniatures. I haven't gotten to them, and even though that was from our trip, because I've been catching up on all this other stuff in order to get to these guys. So now, there you go. That's going to be what we have, what I've got going for that. Yeah, man. But that little figure was just a couple bucks, and just buy it. Frank Buck was the guy's name, but there we go. The only thing missing on the T-72s is the guns. They're not actually missing. They're on the sprue still. I'm keeping her on the sprue. And once I get these primer up and panned down, I'll put them in there. And, oh, hey, Mel, how are you? It just popped up. You're there. Yes, they do have some cool stuff. And Mini Warmut, how are you, sir? Mel, happy Mother's Day to you, Mel. I hear you're a fantastic mother because Brian brags about you all the time. So I hope your day is excellent today, ma'am. I hope it's a good one for you. And Mini Warmut, I hear you're a mother too, but we'll discuss that later. I just got to give you crap. Yeah, Turkey Creek Johnson is a character. Yes, I believe you're correct. I was going to say, I thought it was based off of what you'd read about in history. So that's interesting there that he rode with the herbs, and that would have been kind of an interesting time to live, don't you think? But yeah. Oh, you accidentally signed in on hers, but it's you, Brian. Well, Brian, then tell Mel, like I said earlier, happy Mother's Day. Bookkeeper, lawyer, yep, cattle handler and lawman. He kind of did a little bit of that. Who's that? That is Brian from Weird World War II. He's been having some computer issues, is what he told me to tell everyone, but probably secretly he was down in Mexico having some tacos and margaritas on a beach, just as a guess. Just saying. He's close enough, so. So we'll go with that. How's that? Anyways, I know those are out of focus because it's kind of cool, this camera. I've had it for a couple years. Freaking $40 and has an adjustable lens. Yeah. And I can't find it anymore. You wish you were down having some tacos and margaritas, huh? Okay, Brian. I'm just saying, you're just like a hop, skip, and a jump, literally, over from the border, ain't you? So you could go down there. A little bit further for me and the other Brian to drive. Although Brian in Arizona, he gets some good Hispanic food. That's cool. So I'll switch back. There we go. But yeah, guys, that's what I got done the last couple of days was those T-72s, and I finished off Frank Buck. But Turkey Creek Johnson will be the next one, and I'm going to start on them probably tomorrow night because I won't have any time tonight to do that. But this way, when Mini Warmut's ready, I'm going to have at least 5 guys. Well, a group of 5 because I'm gonna use Sally's Sure Shot. So there'll be a group of 5. Oh, it doesn't take you a week to get out of Texas. It's not like Texas is some giant landmass that could be its own country or something. But wait, yeah, I think it could be. It's possible. So we'll just go with that, Brian. We'll take your word for it. But yeah, Texas is a pretty big area for sure. How are they going to be on the table? You know what? That's a good question, Mini Warm-Up, because they're going to be on your table. I didn't think about that. But let me do it this way. I'm going to continue to think that way so I paint the miniatures. How's that? I mean, you're right. It didn't dawn on me. I was thinking, I got to get them painted so we can game, but duh, it's going to be on your table. That's okay. I need to get them painted anyway, so it's all good. Yeah, I could send them to you in the mail, huh? Paint them up and mail them out to you. But that's because I had a brain fart, Mini Warm-Up. But then, Brian, Weird World War II, Brian, if I sent him out there, you did that with your crew, yep, at Dave at Pulp Belly. So if I sent him out there, then I wouldn't have the miniatures. Then I wouldn't have them here, though, see? So, and to get them back, the Mini Warm-Up would have to mail them back. It's my bad, man. I just wasn't thinking. I was thinking I got to get them ready for the game. You know what I mean? And yeah, just didn't think about it. No, I trust Mini Warm-Up to send them back. Yeah, that's it's not that I don't trust him to send it back. That's not it at all. It's just I just wasn't thinking. I mean, I could send him out there. He could use them because it wouldn't be that much just to send them there anyways. I just didn't. Like I said, I just wasn't thinking. That's all. Sometimes, occasionally, it happens. No. Yeah, only the sideshow knows, or the shadow knows. No, Mini Warm-Up, you didn't kill my mojo. I'll keep painting. I just lack of sleep, man. Last night I had the baby, and babies like to stay up sometimes. Then they want to play, then they want to just make noises, and then you goof off and you realize, holy crap, it's 1:30, it's 2 o'clock. And then they sleep for like 2 hours, and then they're 3 hours, and they want a bottle. And I don't know how they can sleep with the bottle. I tried that, you guys. Like, lay there with the bottle in my mouth. It falls out. Vodka goes everywhere. It does not work. But for the baby, it seems to be okay. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, but I did have a whole lot of fun. And so that's all. So pardon me if my brain malfunctions occasionally. It's just going to happen. But yeah, I should. Maybe I'll do that anyways, Mini Warm-Up. Just try to get the other 3 painted this week and just send them out to you with like some return postage, and then we can do the game, and it'd be just set up to mail them back or something. That might be pretty cool. But you won't kill my mojo because I've been completing things each week, and that was the goal. Is I was getting behind and getting in too many directions, and so I finished up the Warhammer stuff. I completely finished that, and I started on just a test on that one. I wanted to see if I had cowboyish colors, and I think I do. I think it works, and I don't know, Mini Warm-Up, did you see this guy, the finalized? I'll show Brian there, or whichever one of you didn't see it, because I think he came out way better than when I first started. And this one I can adjust so it's not blurry. Hold on. So I got the face down pretty good. And I even got the little buckles on his leather strap. But he's an interesting character because, like I said, you got the pistol, you got the whip, you got the machete or the sword or whatever you want to call it. He's got the shotgun. And interestingly, I was like, I want to do something different with the coat. So I used, where'd it go? Aha! I used some of the Bones Reaper Master Series paint, and I used Dragon Red. That's how it dries. I thought I come out really good, and then I gave him, to make him older, I gave him gray hair, because all those gamers, get that at some point. So I thought, what could I use for gray hair? Oh shit, I do Warhammer. Let's see. I used Gray Seer. Now this was oh, thank you guys. You guys said it looks good. Thanks. This Gray Seer you're supposed to use, well, Mythos gave me the idea to use it on the Templar Knights, because that other gray you guys I told you was giving me fits. But it worked out good. Look on his shirt, kind of like the gray wool they used to wear, like a woolen shirt. But then on his hair, when you just run a little bit of like wash to it, just ever so slight gray wash, and man, it worked out. So I think that was my thing, is I didn't know if I had something I could do with, the cowboy stuff. And then this one here, Brian, from Weird World War II. See what I did to the sword? Look. I tried that effect. I just wanted to see if I could get it in there with the magnifying glass. I did. So this was a figure I had sitting around too. I had to put together. But I wanted to try doing the grooves on the sword just to see if it would look a little different, come out different. Only thing with this one is it's got the 2-part cloak. So I'm going to try and fill that and then paint it, because it only sets together so well. But these are the things I've been working on, you guys. Little different techniques and finishing up models that are just sitting here that had to be finished. I postponed my Gray Knights because I've got to do something different with the paint, and I'm trying the Gray Seer. What's a tutorial? Is that something where you learn? Oh yeah, World War II. You're right. In this case, I didn't really watch a tutorial. I just thought I'm going to try this, and I asked, and Mythos suggested that Gray Seer because it flows better than the what's that other crap? This stuff is what they wanted you to use. Weird World War II. And it's chalky as hell, and it does not flow. And so Mythos said, no, Greg, try this. Well, this stuff I had to add water to make it flow a little better. It's not as chalky, but boy, it works out good for like looking like those old shirts, and then for the gray hair on that guy. So 2 parts, and then I'm going to go through the Templars, and I'm going to do that. But absolutely, you can learn a lot by watching any kind of tutorials, asking people. I ask people, and sometimes I just try stuff and say, hey, what do you guys think? How does it look? So it works all around that way for me. And let me switch this camera back. It is my sound okay? My poor mic's about 4 years old, so Mini Warmutt said that one recording I did was low, but I went back and checked OBS. I wonder if it wasn't picking up my webcam that I have up there. Mic is instead. That's what I think it was doing. I don't know, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I paid $45 for this podcast mic, and it's lasted me several years, and a god-awful amount of podcasts, not counting. I've used it doing like live podcasts through Podbean and stuff, so I've gotten my money's worth out of it. So if it goes bad, oh well, broke anyways. I'll just suck it up and get another one or something. Maybe try to get a higher quality one. But all right, cool. Thanks, Mini Warmutt, for saying yeah, you can hear. So that's good. But yeah, you guys, I'm pretty happy with the progress I've been making each week, because I just got behind. So much stuff was going on, and now I'm getting caught up. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with these Russian tanks just because now Mini Warmutt's always saying, Greg, go do a fight against yourself if you need to, Well, I kind of needed an army to fight against myself. It's like I have Warhammer, but I have Space Marines. I don't have another faction to fight against myself. So with Team Yankee, okay, now I do. Now I got the Russians. So now you got two natural enemies. And so I can do something like that. And my paint should be here before the end of the week. It's getting harder, by the way, you guys, to order some things, and the price is going up. Like if it was $6, it's now 11. You know, if it was $3, it's 7. So some of this stuff is starting to spike. All right, Mini Warmut. He says, hurry up. I have been hurrying up, sir. But like I sent you a picture on Messenger, right? Kind of hard to paint when you're holding a 2-month-old. I mean, I guess I could just give her the brush and just go to town, let her do it. But yeah. Oh, okay, Brian, you said paint up a couple of Ukrainians. Well, I haven't. I guess I could do that, but this was the tanks that Keegan got in that auction, dude. And so that's what I painted them up for, because the whole thing it's this box. I mean, it's, you got to remember, this ends up being $7, and it's $90 if you go buy it, and it's all there. So the only thing I noticed was missing is, since it was opened, is some magnets. So I went down to my local hobby store, and magnets have about doubled too, man. So I guess they just think everybody in this world is rich, because why not double the food, raise your gas, double your hobby stuff? Crap. It's just getting expensive. So I guess get what you can. That's why I ordered a bigger bottle, because it's going to last me. It's just going to last me. I'm not probably never use it all, but at least I know I have enough if I got to coat these things twice, because it's a 60 ml bottle. So, it's good enough. It'll work. And they do have a newer set too. Weird World War II, Brian. Yeah, magnets are expensive, dude. These Army Painter magnets. What am I doing wrong camera? $11 for magnets, and it had a couple of bigger ones like these. What's left of them, because I just like to magnetize the tank turrets. These other ones, I could use it for swapping out weapons. They're really small, so I can magnetize the arms, right, on some of the figures. But I'm like, what happened? These are like $4.99. Now they're $11, and now I'm like, just in the last 2 months. So, well, hello, Brigadier for the Union. Yep. Yes, sir. Welcome to our crazy little show. And these magnets are slightly bigger than, I guess, the ones Battlefront has, and the rest of them, because I had to take a drill bit and just stick it in there and turn it just enough to carve out the bottom. But those magnets, I mean, you can hold the tank by the turn. It doesn't come off. But you want to swap it. That's what I like, because some of the other ones, like the German ones I have, you can swap the barrels, on some of them. So it comes in handy to magnetize stuff if you can. If you happen to have, you don't have to. Commodities, yeah. Well, everything's just getting more expensive, Brian. I mean, so it's affecting the hobby. Has become exceptionally popular, because, like, you guys have all said too, this is like the golden age of tabletops, right? It doesn't matter if you're doing historical, ancients, or whatever, sci-fi. It's just boom, it's through the roof, as far as people wanting to do it and the excitement. All right, Brigadier. So I'm gonna put your question up, because that's interesting. Is it possible to magnetize the side skirts? When I put these on, now I'm not an expert on the Russian ones. This is just the first set I did. So taking the turn off, let me switch this over. I'll show you something here. I'm just gonna switch it to the other camera. Hold on, sir. So I know you can't see it, but about here in here on those skirts, they have little tiny stubs. What you could do is these magnets that, where'd it go? These things are so small that, see this, these are tiny little magnets. And I'm betting you could stick them on there or embed them enough. Or even if you laid them, because the tracks glue in there. So even if you laid these magnets sideways on top of that track or pinned them in there, they're going to pull enough them, they would magnetize. I'd bet they'd stick, because you can. Here's another box of them. Like this came in that kit that Keegan bought. Crap, those are even tinier, man. So yeah, I think with this particular tank model, you'd have to finagle it a little bit, but I'll bet you you could. Because, us hobby people, we figure stuff out. But I'm pretty sure you could, because there is some room in there. I never thought about that. But yeah, I would try it, Brigadier. I mean, what's it gonna hurt, right? If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, you've lost nothing. Just don't put another magnet on the skirt and glue the thing on. But otherwise, well, I don't know. There's some awful tiny magnets, so should be no problem doing it. But look at this. This came with that box. This is another deal there, Brian and Brian. Look at the price on that. That was sitting in that $7 box. They're not even open. So, and these are so tiny that you could use these on. Oh, well, I know you could use these on Warhammer guys. I bet you cut the stubs off. You could magnetize their arms and swap out a power sword or something for a hammer or something like that. I bet you could without a problem. So I try to magnetize what I can just for versatility and for storing, just like my helicopters, Brigadier. It's all magnetized so that I can take them off, set them in a different part of the foam box as opposed to the thing. Oh, you're picky? Yeah, we do get picky, sir. It does happen. And Weird World War II is letting you know, Brigadier, that yeah, most of us war gamers are OCD. Yeah. You start off with, ooh, cool, I got these things I put together. You put it on a table. Then you start painting. Years go by and you're like, I can't put it on a table and fill it without painting it. Yeah, I know. You can, but yeah. It happens. But I think magnets are awesome. I mean, they literally work for anything. And all these T72s are all done that I did this week. But every one of them's got magnets. I did use some of this fine Tamiya glue, extra fine, extra thin, because these tanks for the fuel, try holding it together with your fingers. It drives without getting your fingers glued together. So what I was able to do was push them together and they would hold just tight enough. And this is such thin cement. So you just brush it and it would just soak right in the seams. It made it strong as hell. When you paint over it, you're not going to see it either. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is good stuff, Mini Warm. It really is good stuff to use. Zap-A-Gap, this stuff, it'll melt that. It welds that plastic together. And I like it on the tracks and the bulkier stuff. Brigadier says, oh, yeah, you just got into Team Yankee and love it. Yeah, Team Yankee is fun, man. The more you do, just the more fun you have. It's a fun game. But I started a lot of that long time ago, too, though, and then got into Gale Force 9 tanks. And then Team Yankee, I was like, well, hell, that was a no-brainer for me to jump over. And if it's your first time dealing with magnets, Brigadier, that's okay. If you go to your hobby stores, they do have, well, at least at mine, there is a pack that's, it's like a multi-pack, so it'll have a variety. It may not have a whole bunch of a certain magnet, right? But they'll have a multitude of different magnets. Kind of find what one. Let me show you something real quick, Brigadier, because I know Brian and both the Brians know, but so when you put these in, what I do when I have the magnets is, see, I mark them with a Sharpie. So I know this end goes up, and then I mark the back of the other magnet. So I know, I know when I'm putting the magnets in, they go together, right? Otherwise, they're opposing. But what I was going to show you is this. If you get a regular, just a hand drill bit, you can see kind of the plastic on there. These magnets are just slightly oversized. That bit sets right in there, and you just turn it by hand just a little bit, kind of wiggle it around. It'll just finally shave the plastic out of there, and boom, that magnet, test fit it before you glue it. It'll set right in there. And I wouldn't use the Tamiya, though, for that. I would use this for the magnets. That Zap-A-Gap, once it dries, that magnet ain't coming out. But use a little, just a bit. You don't got to get nothing fancy. And let's see here. Oh, yeah. I guess we could read the book, but if you get, the rule books, they give you the story or the backstory to it, Brian. So part of what's in there in your codex for them is about what I refer to it as. You're going to get what's what and a prelude to the war and so on. And yeah. But I'll have to check out Sword Point. That's one thing. But anyways, Brigadier, welcome into Team Yankee. It's fun. But it's like rest of it. I just kind of, at Gamers with Coffee, we kind of bounce around. So we're not one specific game. So you'll see us doing Warhammer. You'll see us doing this. You'll see us doing some card games. Or you'll just see us do whatever. But modeling is our favorite thing to do. It is predominantly what we do. We do video gaming too. But I've kind of burned out on the video games for a little bit. I'm just more or less taking a little bit of a break. It's kind of hard to find a group to run with. If you have a group to run with, that I like games like Domination or something where it's an objective-based game, kill confirm, things like that. But if you don't have anyone to run in a group with and communicate, then it's difficult to play those. Yeah, I know you met the Team Yankee novel. I haven't gotten to that there, Brian from World War II. I'm just saying, in the beginning of the book, I kind of got the basics of the story, but these rule books have like a little bit of a introduction to it. And yeah, 10,000 is an awesome book too. So reading and building tanks, sometimes I have to choose which one I want to do. So I build if I have stuff to build. If I get time, I try to read. But it's interesting because I used to have more time. I just have less time these days. It's hard to find people to play it. So in your town, where do you live, Brigadier? I'm not sure where you live there. Oh yeah, Brian, you're right. Audiobooks, that's true. I just don't really think of it, I guess, because to me, I just haven't really thought about audiobooks, but that's a good idea. I mean, why not? Well, if you got a few guys to join your group and one's willing to buy an army, then that is better than zero, because when one person gets into it, you're going to find in the modeling hobby world, here's what I run across. Oh, I don't got 2 hours to play a game. But we'll play for 8 hours. We'll play Call of Duty on our Xbox for 8 hours or our PS5, right? Or we'll play Destiny, or we'll play Fortnite, or we'll play any of the other games 7, 8, 10 hours a day. But then they'll tell you that they don't have 2 hours to play a tabletop. And I guess it's just a perception, because I'll play both of them, but like I said, you got to have people to game with is easier. You can, Brigadier. I use this platform, this service I pay for. is it holds several people at a time on the screen. So if you had a laptop and a camera, we do some gaming mini warm up there. In World War II and me have already done a 3-way game over this with a different set of rules, just not armor, not tanks, but you can do it. Yeah, Brian, you make a point there. Yeah, the hobby's not cheap. You have to, for me, my perspective is this. Okay, so if I'm going to go pay $79 for the upgraded version of a game and another $50 for the DLC for the content for it, like you do with all the Call of Duty games, then you're gonna spend $130 to $150 for that video game. And that's not counting your microtransactions, because you're going to want to buy skins for your guns, right, to make them look better. Like the bacon skin. Why? Because everything's better with bacon. So you can wrap your AR in the game in bacon. Well, that's cool. That costs money. You know what I mean? So by the time you're done with today's video game and microtransactions, you're at about $150 to $200. And now you're at or above some of the starter sets, because like Team Yankee, that $50 starter set, Brian, from World War II, that is a knockout deal, like just a knockout deal. You're going to get way more value in that than I can tell you, because if you go buy the tanks, they're $10, $12, $15 each. Well, if you were to buy separate tanks and pull them over, but no. Oh, okay. Sunbury, you live in Canada. Okay. So is your town, is it just not, it's more or less just fantasy gaming? See, I live somewhere to the side of a cornfield in the state of Iowa. Actually, I didn't want to say, but we do have donkeys that turn our electrical power for this internet thingy. And so we live in a little area out here, but the game store is mostly fantasy. We did have a Gale Force 9 group for the tanks, to meet, because you can use Gale Force 9 the modern age war stuff. You can use that with the Team Yankee. So if you bought, for instance, a West German Martyr, then you can use that on your West German Force, right? Because as long as you got the book, you got the stats, but the vehicle's the same. So you can get them a little bit like that. But mostly what's gaming at the tables at our shop is Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Lord of the Rings, mostly fantasy based, yeah. And Brian there from World War II says, "Oh yeah, we do have other members from the Great White North." So Taylor's one of them. Several people in our group are from Canada, and they seem to have the same problem that you're talking about, Brigadier. And so Brian from Weird World War II lives in the shadow of a cedar tree in the rolling hills of Texas, huh? Rolling hills? Oh, wait, you're not. Yeah, you might have some hills in Texas, a couple. But it's kind of funny, when I moved out here to Iowa from California, I talked to the lady in the DOT in California about getting the title to my truck sent up. And she goes, "Well, yeah, just go to www." And then she stopped. And I was on the phone. She goes, "Do you have the internet out there?" And I'm like, "What? Yes, we have the internet out here. It's called the World Wide Web because it's everywhere." Well, anywhere you got data. So it was just kind of funny, man. People's perceptions of where you're at, kind of sometimes I guess they think I'm in a barn sometimes, which funny, some of the barns I've seen have been retrofitted into some really nice houses, built-in bars, jacuzzis, and fancier than I could ever live in. So, but no, I'm broadcasting live to the side of a cornfield in a town called Hiawatha, right next to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. When I mean right next to, I mean you cross the street, kind of a thing. So, yep. But at our hobby shop, Brigadier, that's the thing. It's mostly fantasy. And I noticed too that, like, a lot of the guys I talked to in the UK, and there's actually quite a few now, and they're more into the World War II or even ancients or historical type of, they're not into the fantasy as much. But out here, it just seems to be more fantasy. But boy, Team Yankee Online, it's pretty huge and it's a pretty big group. So if you're looking at that, I don't know if you heard me before, Brigadier, because I think you come on after I set up. But that box of, Keegan got at an auction roughly cost him $7 for the 10 tanks and 2 Hinds. So that's a pretty good force to start with. And while the T-72s don't take a lot of damage, there's 10 of them. You can field those a lot easier than you can. I mean, for the point, it costs to field a couple of German Leopards, 2s, than as opposed to the T-72s. But then you got more tanks firing at you too. So numbers makes a difference too. Mini Warmutt. He says, of course, as the internet runs on ethanol. Out here, ethanol is called Busch Light beer. If you're gonna drink beer, I wouldn't. I don't know why that's the popular beer, but good God. So yes, they do have ethanol out here. It's interesting because it is a little bit cheaper gas wise, Mini Warmutt. So, but. Yes, Brian, the adage of numbers, they do win because it becomes overwhelming. What did you say there, your hotel? You doing a hotel for your Western stuff? Cool beans, sir. And Brigadier said, oh, your store is trying to sell it to you for 140? Yeah, this was the one I showed the other guys. I mean, they've seen it, but this was the box set. And now normally it's $90 in our area, but it was $7 at the auction. So, and then Keegan got this one too, since you're familiar with it, as Brigadier, is he got this set. Brandon's boys. This was the other half of it, so it was $7. So those 2 boxes were $15, and they're complete. I mean, cards and everything. It's all we're just doing. They're a complete box set. So, yes, that is correct. Punchenkov's Bears. That's the one. Yep, that is exactly the one. And yes, they are Canadian dollars, and that would be crazy prices, Brian. You're right. So yeah, Brigadier, that was a pretty good deal, huh? 200 and something bucks for $15. That little box of magnets I showed you was in there. That was $15.99. This cost more than the auction did. It was sitting at the bottom of that one box. So, I mean, he just happened to get a steal. When I seen that, I told him, I said, dude, if you're going to bid on it, because nobody's bidding. I don't think people understood what they were bidding on. So somebody had put $5. So Keegan walked up and wrote down 15. That was it. It was a silent auction. Nobody outbid it. So now we got a Russian force to mess around with. He's already got Americans. I play West Germans, Brigadier. So mine are all done and ready. I got all mine in the case here that I've shown the guys before. I can show you one of these times if you'd like to, but yeah, this thing said it came with 9, but it actually had 10 in there. I believe. Yeah, because see the box, the back says 9 T-72s, but there were 10 in there. And the reason it would have dust is it's an older set, yeah, but you got numbers there, right? So if you want to offset this point-wise, well, I'll just pick up a box of the T-80s because those are some killer tanks, man. And you can fill like, my God, I think it's 10 T-80s for, I want to say 80 points or some crazy thing. And those T-80s are really hard to knock out. Yes, Soviets. Exactly, Brian. And so, yeah, the HQs on these, on Team Yankee, Brian. So, like on these, I got 10. So, I'm going to split it into two groups of five, right? And so, the hatch on this one here, is open. So, you got your commander sprues to pick from, whichever guy you want to pick. So, I'm going to do that, and I'm do that in groups of five. So, there's two of them with the open turrets. So, yeah, and of course in Team Yankee you got to be close enough together to be in formation basically. But I thought it was a pretty killer deal. I mean I was really shocked. That's why I talked about it, because I've just talked about it. But it's all good, and it gave us a force to play with. That makes a big difference. Also, and it has an extra force if somebody else wants to play, because getting the ladies into the games too is good. So both my sons, their girlfriends are just now starting into miniature gaming, and they're pretty aggressive players. So, yep. Um, so that works out pretty good, man. Pretty good. But I don't know. The only person that can afford $140 Canadian would be Brian from World War II. He just throws money around like it's printed or something. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, gentlemen, that is what I got done this week. Finished up the one cowboy figure, finished up the other Warhammer figure, completed the Frank Buck figure, and did my 10 tanks. And to me, that's a lot because of the time constraints I had. I know the others, you could have done that all in one day, but progress is progress. Yeah, you have a never-ending supply of toys, Brian. Okay, that's cool. I don't have a never-ending supply. However, some of the stuff from the auction still sitting here. I mean, I don't know what to do with it, because Keegan's been wanting to do like a little auction unboxing kind of thing. We have had people say, "Hey, what else did you get?" Just basically terrain and stuff. But um, this was just a. I mean, what was the harm of saying, "I'll pay $15"? I mean, worst you could do is somebody outbid you and you lost. In this case, you didn't. So 200 something dollars with the stuff for 15 was just insanely good. So, like I said, it gives an extra force too to play, because in my there it is over there, the starter box, the Team Yankee starter box. I still got a small American contingency to put together, because mine was just all West, like I said, West Germans. Clint's was Russian. Keegan's is Americans, and so getting these Russians now allows us to play. If Clint's gone, sometimes he takes exotic vacations to Donut Land, and he just can't make the trip. So yeah, he's being sarcastic, because he's my friend and I can be sarcastic. But he sometimes is not able, like today, he wasn't able to meet up with us or do anything. So instead of hoping to have someone opposite to play, we now can just switch off, because to me, it doesn't matter what side I play. As long as I get to play. If I win, fantastic. If not, fantastic, because I got to play. So it doesn't matter. That's kind of how I look at it. Oh, Brigadier, that's pretty interesting. You So first of all, Zvezda has very good quality tanks, in my opinion. I like their detail, and I think the other companies, because they were out before them, they copy from them. But Zvezda's pretty good. They try to bury it. Oh, don't look that way. Don't. But Zvezda's good quality. Now, with that said, you kit bash them into the Chinese. Type 59 main battle tanks. So you're creating your stats. Oh, okay, so the Warsaw Pack Box. Now, I haven't looked at that. I heard it come out, but I thought, didn't the Warsaw Pack Box, didn't it have the more upgraded T-72s with like the armor, the heavier armor? I'm not quite familiar with it. That's why I'm asking you. I kind of heard about it, but I haven't looked directly at it. But um, that's cool that you're getting some stats in Kit Bash. Hey, that's that's part of what you should do. You know, you may as well have fun and go for it. Zvezda, have you played the Art of Tactic? Their war game, the Zvezda war game. It's pretty cool. That was a box I got long ago, and I only got to play a couple times. But you had to watch your fuel and your ammo consumption. Um, and I found that was very interesting. The cards, you could mark on them with the dry erase markers, and you could keep track of your stuff as you went. And it was very cool, very cool. Yeah, if you could pick it up, you guys, Mini War Mutt, Brian, we're in World War II, you might like it, and Brigadier. You can pick it up for about $30. But it comes with your tanks, your opposing tanks, and your cards, the map. It's worth the $30. I mean, like it's just worth it. So, um, but yeah, it's a good game, Brigadier. It's actually kind of fun. It's interesting. But Zvezda, yeah, I have for my German World War II because I play the Germans in World War II. Also, I just like their equipment, man. They had some better equipment, and it's fun to blow up Keegan Sherman's take a beating, and that's why he hides behind buildings and around corners and shoots, and then uses that little thing he's got to duck back behind cover. Because man, Shermans didn't really stand up to them Tigers. Even the Panzers tore them up, So Tiger tanks did a number on the Shermans, like 5 or 7 of them to every one. They literally had to run in groups and only one because they were fast enough for the most part to try to get behind the Tiger and shoot it in the back. Otherwise, done. I wouldn't have wanted to have been in a Sherman. Would have been a death trap. So when you're playing on games on stats like World War II, my God, I can't speak. So World War II, yeah, I like to play the German stuff because their equipment's pretty cool. And the Soviets took a beating too. They had some just really rugged, tough stuff. Um, so that's where that's at, you guys. It is accomplishment time. So my next step will be, like I said earlier, this week I got a bottle of paint coming, a Russian green for that era. And that was all I could afford for this week. But yeah, should get it sometime between Wednesday and Friday. And I'm going to paint these guys up and get them going because I just like to paint them, but it gives me something to do too. But all in all, it's good. And then once I get them primered up, I'll probably put the guns on, the machine guns. It's just I kind of don't like putting them on till last because they are, it can be broken off and stuff. Say weird World War II 3 times fast. No. Sure, Brian. If I did that, I'd mess it up. And yes, Brigadier, it would have been terrifying to be in a Sherman tank and that war for sure. I would not want to be. Yes, well, that's what I do there. I don't want to final glue them guns in. I'd rather paint most of it on the sprue because when you clip it, they're so small. It's just easier to paint the details on there. And then all you're doing is touching up the end you clip. And then it's glued. I don't got to try to sit there and fight around, what I'm doing with it. Interestingly, it has, if you can see them, hedgerow cutters. But I don't know what the stats are if I put those on or how that will alter or change it. So I'm got to look into that because I'm not familiar with the forces that come with the cards, but I just haven't had a chance to really dig into it. But because it's all the T-72 Tank Company cards. Yeah, I mean, look at this point-wise. 10 of them for 47 points. I mean, yeah. So I don't see the rules on the hedge there. But I don't have the Soviet book. That's the one thing I'll pick up is a Soviet book. That way. Oh, are they mine clearing plows? Okay. It looks like hedge clippers or cutters, like in World War II. I'm like, but they would clear the mines that close to the tank? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the guys in the tank if they disrupted a bomb a couple feet in front of it. But if that's what that's for, I guess the glue. I'll have to look into it. Thanks for clarifying that. I was thinking along the lines of mine plows. Yep. I'll have to look and see what I can do. I'm going to have to pick up a Soviet book for it just because I'll have these 10 and then the Heinz, the 2 Heinz that came with it. I could put those together, but I more or less wanted to get the tanks done first. Don't really have any troops or anything bought for this, so yeah, the Heinz can deploy the Afghani troops, the special forces. Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like, Brigadier. When I looked at it, the first thing that went through my mind is, like the hedgerow cutters from, World War II. But if they're mine plows, they're that close to the tank, I guess. Okay. I haven't really played with the mines in the game yet, so I don't know. I know we got the mine tokens you can use, but I did make my own tank traps for them that I built and then resin cast some, and I made my own dug-in markers too. So gotta have some fun with it. Yeah. Now this one here that you're talking about, Brigadier, is the Shika. That's what, or Shoka. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but Clint has that. That is a nasty, nasty weapon. If they get close enough, that's just nasty. Yeah, it is a beast there, Brian. Clinton had them deployed one game, and if there's not a lot of distance on it, but if you get within distance, we'll tear it up. So is most definitely something that I'll look into putting on there because each sprue came with them, so I guess I could set it up. Okay, so you're making random videos about Team Yankee there and having a blast with it. All right, sir. I will see if I can find you and subscribe and check them out for you. So yeah, make them. I mean, we all kind of pass stuff around. It's pretty good. I am gonna have to let you guys go because I am doing a Mother's Day dinner with my mom and my daughter, and we're gonna have to get going here pretty soon. But I appreciate you guys showing up, and Brigadier, welcome to the group, man. Show up whenever you want. If you ever want, Brian from Weird World War II knows, and Brian from Mini Warmutt knows. But you can always get on here too. This service will let me put a link in the chat. You can hop on and talk whenever you want about stuff. If you've got a laptop or a computer with the camera, that's all you need. It won't cost you anything on your end. It's already done on this end. So I will tell Mom that you said hi from Texas. She actually talks about you and Mel because she's listened to us enough to know. And she said she likes Mini Warmutt, what he does with trash. She thinks that's pretty cool. So my mom actually avidly listens. Yeah. So, all right, you guys, you take care. I'm sorry to cut it short, but I'm going to do this family thing. I want you guys to enjoy yourselves, have fun, and thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you next week. Mini Warmut, send me a time when you want to do that, or you have a rough idea, and we'll do that game. That way we can live stream it, and maybe I will send you these little guys in advance. But I'll catch up with you. I got to go. I'm pushing my limits as it is. Have a fun day, guys.